Hi everybody, this is Jean. Yes, I'm making a video that's not a life update. I know, right? Like, I'm so proud of myself. Like, finally sitting down and recording a video that's not just me talking about myself. Amazing. Anyways, so in this video, I decided I wanted to talk about, I guess you could call it a true crime story. I don't know if I would consider it true crime because there isn't really any blood or, people killing people or, dismembering pieces of body parts and things like that. There isn't any of that. So if you're eating, it's perfectly fine. You can eat and watch this, it's perfectly fine. It is about a criminal, you can say that. And one of the reasons why I like this story is because the person in the story ended up turning his life around, which we love to see that. He is a rare example of a person who had committed quite serious crimes, like stealing airplanes, and he ended up turning his life around. I think that is amazing. I believe he is quite well known in the true crime community, but me being me, I am always late to everything. So I heard about him like a week ago. Also, another reason why the story captured my interest is because of when these crimes were committed. Most of these crimes were committed in mid to late 2000s, and that's interesting, because Colton, he wasn't born in the 1800s and like he stole an airplane or something like that. No, he was born in 1991. And off top of my head, I remember he stole an airplane in 2009. That's after 9/11. I mean, it wasn't a commercial airplane, but still, that's gotta count. It's not like, he's broke into people's homes in the 1800s when we didn't have any home security systems or anything like that. No, it's not like that at all. And also, one other special detail I remember about that particular airplane is that Colton stole it in 2009 on September 11th. I mean, I don't know. Probably like it's just a random coincidence, but still, I like, same number, Okay. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that the crimes that Colton was able to commit when it comes to stealing airplanes and breaking into people's homes, they were done very recently, and it's very much possible for someone to do them today as well. And that makes me feel very vulnerable. Anyways, that's enough of the mumbo jumbo. Let's jump into his story, and towards the end of the video, we can discuss all of these little things. Okay, great. So here is the story of Colton Harris Moore. Colton was born in 1991 on Camano Island. Unfortunately for him, he did not necessarily have a very good childhood. His father struggled with drug and heroin abuse as well as alcohol abuse. He was sent to prison for attacking Colton at the age of 12. Can you imagine that? His mother essentially raised him alone. They essentially lived out of a trailer in the woods of Camano Islands, and they struggled financially a lot. His mom also had her problems with alcoholism, which it's one thing to have one of your parents struggle with drug or alcohol abuse, because in the child's mind, right, they're thinking, this particular parent, I don't feel safe around them. I don't feel comfortable sharing my emotions with them. I have to be careful around this person, right? But it's okay. I have this other parent who I do feel safe around, and if something happens, I can rely on them. But when both of your parents are struggling with alcoholism or drug abuse, that's a whole other ballgame. Because essentially in that household, you have nobody you can rely on at all. The child does not feel safe around anyone in that house, which is why by the age of 7, he was running away from the home on a regular basis. What he would do is he would spend days and nights at a time in the nearby forests because it was less hectic than home. Which actually makes a lot of sense. One of the tactics that children who deal with a lot of parental abuse do as they're growing up is they start spending a lot of time outside of the home. Maybe they go to a part-time job or just simply spend time at the library, anywhere except home. And it makes sense why they would do that. It's to avoid their abuser because home is not safe. However, when it comes to Colton, he didn't start doing this at the age of 13 or 14. He started doing this at the age of 7. He started running off into the forest and spending nights and days at a time in the forest at the age of 7. That says freaking a lot. At the age of 7, that's insane. So, because he was staying alone in the forest with basically nothing, what he would do is he would break into people's homes, people's vacation homes, and steal things. Steal food, steal camping supplies, etc. And his first conviction for stolen property came at the age of 12. And in a year, he started serving time in juvenile detention centers due to more convictions. Now, one of the questions I think you guys might have is, if his life was so horrid that he started running away at the age of 7, why didn't CPS do anything? Makes sense, right? Essentially, CPS were called multiple times. However, for one reason or another, they were unable to do anything. Says a lot, I would say. And even if, let's say that CPS was able to, do something and take Colton away from them, I mean, it's not like life would have been better, TBH. The foster care system is horrible. And I mean, I'm sure that there are a lot of foster parents who take really good care of the children, but I'm just saying, I'm not sure how much better it would have been because his home life was so awful. It's no surprise to hear that he had many disciplinary issues at school. He was also transferred to Lincoln High Alternative School because of all these disciplinary issues. By 9th grade, he slowly stopped going to school and eventually dropped out. On July 14th, 2006, a warrant was issued for his arrest because he failed to attend a mandatory court date. Because of this, he went into hiding essentially. What he had done is he had set up hidden campsites deep in Camino Island woods and continued stealing things from homes for food and supplies. Some of the homes that he broke into had computers, and he started teaching himself how he could steal identities. If he knew that, the homeowners would be gone for a while, he would order credit cards in the homeowner's name, which he would use to buy food and survival gear like night vision goggles. During this time, what he would essentially do is he would stay active during the night. So he was better able to burglarize homes and steal things. That's also the reason why he got night vision goggles. With this method, he was able to evade police for a while. About a year, to be specific. He was captured and arrested on February 9, 2007. When he was captured, he essentially made a deal with the prosecutors to plead guilty for 3 of the crimes, and that led to a 3-year sentence at Green High School, which is a high-security juvenile detention facility. At Green Hill, he showed himself to be a model student inmate and was transferred to a minimum security halfway home in about a year. Now, I don't know actually, but I do think that he changed his behavior so that he could relocate himself to a better place with better escape opportunities. He was sent to the minimum security halfway home in Feb of 2008, and in about 2 months, he managed to escape from there. He was able to steal a car and then return to Camino Island and started doing his regular shtick again, breaking and entering into people's homes for food and supplies. Now, about this time, the local media started to take notice of this mysterious teenage outlaw, and news stories started to appear about him. Now, at this point, 2008, let's remember he was just 17 years old. All of these things that I talked about till now, they happened before he was 18 years old. Because of the ongoing media attention and the police being better prepared at Camino Island, he decided to escape from there and relocate himself to Orcas Island. And soon after he arrived, burglary reports started to increase. And because of Colton, they held a special meeting to address the influx of burglaries that happened at Orcas Island. Essentially, they upped the security and they wanted to catch him as fast as they could. Now, because of this meeting and more increasing efforts to catch him, on November 12, 2008, he decided to escape. What he did was he stole a Cessna 182, a single-engine airplane, from a hangar. Now, it's important to note that he is 18 years old. He has no experience flying airplanes. He does not have a pilot's license. He does not know how to fly an airplane. And it is suspected that he hadn't even been on an airplane before, a commercial one, ever. But he was able to successfully take off from the island and fly 300 miles to the east. Of course, he crash landed, but still though, this guy's 18 years old? He doesn't know how to fly a plane. He has never even been on an aircraft before. And he's like, boopity boop, I'm gonna fly an airplane. And he's successful! It's suspected that he taught himself how to fly an airplane from reading aircraft manuals and spending time playing Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, if I play it, can I also learn how to fly? I'd like that, I know it's horrible. I shouldn't be taking it lightly, but he didn't know anything. He was able to fly a plane. I don't know, that's kind of awesome. Of course, he crash landed. He could have died. He could have very much died or killed people, but he didn't. So, I don't know. I don't know. And of course, wherever he was, there was an influx of crime, specifically stolen cars, burglaries, etc. After the plane heist, Colton stole a series of cars and always stayed on the move. He traveled between places such as Reno, Sacramento, Eastern Washington, etc. And he returned to Camino Island in May of 2009. On July 19, 2009, he was able to break into a patrol car that was parked in front of a deputy's house and steal police equipment, including a cell phone, an official issue police rifle, and bullets. Now, in response to all of this, of course, the police ramped up the effort to capture him. Through 2009, he continued his pattern of island hopping, and on September 11, 2009, he stole his second plane. Now, it's important to note that he was able to steal this plane from a public airport. How? How is that possible? This is after 9/11. How is that possible? From there, he was able to flew it to Orcas Island, and there he stole a boat and sailed it to Point Roberts. And of course, wherever he went, there was a trail of burglaries along the way. In the same month, he was able to steal another plane, his third plane, a Cessna 182, and was able to fly it 260 miles to the west. He wanted to land it to Camino Island, but the plane ran out of fuel and he crash landed near Granite Falls, not to be confused with Gravity Falls. By this time, he had become prime suspect for approximately 100 thefts throughout Washington, Idaho, and Canada as well. Most of them included cars, airplanes, and speedboats. In 2010, he burglarized a local grocery store and stole over $1,000 in cash. However, he didn't just leave, Okay, he got the cash, but he didn't just, okay, I got the cash, I'm gonna go now. Nope, he didn't do that. What he did was he used chalk and drew up feet in the aisles of the store to, embrace his nickname, Barefoot Bandit. Do you get it now? I mean, he could have just left. But he's like, nope, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna stay here for about an hour or two, and I'm gonna draw up these feet in this grocery store just cause I can. Because of all of the shenanigans, the FBI and the Homeland Security got involved, and several agents were deployed to Orcas Island. On July 4, 2010, a Cessna was reported stolen from an airport in Bloomington, Indiana. Of course, it was Colton who did it. What he wanted to do this time was he wanted to land to Cuba so that, the US government won't be able to catch him there. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it to Cuba. He made it as far as the Bahamas, and unfortunately, he crash landed because of fuel running out. He was able to find his way to a nearby fishing village and survived for several days, stealing food from nearby stores and restaurants and shenanigans like that. And finally, on July 11th, 2010, after a long boat chase by the police, Colton was captured by the police at Harbor Island, Bahamas. The way that the police were able to catch him during this boat chase was by shooting the boat's engine. Smart move. 2 days later, he was extradited from Bahamas to Miami, where he was held until July 21st. Then he was transferred to a federal detention center. He was there for 2 years, where he faced numerous charges at county, state, and federal level. On Jan 27, 2012, a U.S. District Court judge sentenced him to 6 years in prison. Now, I know it seems like it's, not that much, but frankly, if you consider the background which the court considers, it seems fair enough. And soon after coming to prison, he sold the rights to his life story to 20th Century Fox for $1.4 million. On September 2nd, 2016, Colton, at the age of 25, was released from prison on probation. He ended up taking a part-time position from the lawyer who actually represented him in court. I think that's very interesting and very sweet. Shows how much goodwill he had cultivated with the lawyer. And since then, he hasn't committed any crimes, he hasn't stolen airplanes. Which, good for him. I'm so happy to see that after all of the shenanigans, he was able to put his life back together. And of course, it's not, perfect. But I'm still happy that he was able to build his life back together. On December 2016, he also had started a GoFundMe page for flight school training, essentially. He wrote on the page, and I quote, "Now I'm 25 years old, free and ready to do it. Fly. Legally. I love airplanes, but I will never steal one or break the law again. I broke the law big league when I was younger. But now it's time for me to focus on my career and life in the free world." And now you might think, well, didn't he get like $1.4 million from 20th Century Fox? Yeah, but it was used in restitution, so it's not like, he is a millionaire by the time he got out of prison. No. And even though he paid like $1.4 million, he still owed $129,000. So whatever money that was raised from the GoFundMe page, which wasn't enough, it was less than $2,000, it went to the restitution. On one of his last public appearances, he said the following about stealing the plane. "It's this uncontrollable obsession. That's really what it is. It's something that you have dreamt about and waited for your entire life. And out of the possibilities of that moment, no matter what scenario or situation you could find yourself in, that one moment, you were exactly where you were supposed to be, and I wonder if I'll ever feel like that again. It's one of those moments that I think you get only once or twice in your entire life." Now he lives a pretty mundane life. So yeah, that was the entire story of Colton Harris Moore. I think I love this story a lot. One of the things I absolutely love about this story is that the person in the story who committed all these crimes, Colton, he committed some serious crimes like stealing airplanes and, burglaring like God knows how many homes. But in the end, he served his time and he was able to turn his life back around. I love that, It's rare to see because of how broken everything is, but I love that. I love that. However, there is still, how am I supposed to explain this? There's still a visceral gut part of me that if I list off the crimes that he had committed sequentially in my head, that part of me is like death, And I don't mean like death as in literal death. I mean the Mabel gif of death from, Gravity Falls. Yeah, that one. Because if you look at the crimes, right? Like 3 stolen airplanes and God knows how many burglaries. Yeah, that sounds like maybe 25, 30 years in prison. Not 6, However, that does not take into account the story, does it? Which of course doesn't make his crimes okay. I'm not saying that. However, it is important to note that a lot of people commit crime not because they are sadistic, sociopathic bastards. They commit crime because they don't see any upward financial or social mobility. And if you're stuck in a hopeless situation, essentially when the system fails you, what are you supposed to do? Like for instance, in Colton's story, multiple times CPS visited his home, but nothing was really done. What if, just what if the foster care situation was actually, reasonable? And what if the CPS actually decided to, take Colton and put him in this reasonable foster care system? I genuinely don't think he would then be running off into the forest and, stealing food and supplies from, homes. I don't think so. And if that wouldn't have happened, I don't think he would have stolen airplanes. Just saying. As John Green says in We Are All Bad People song, crime is not actually caused by evil. Crime is caused by systemic disenfranchisement and poverty and lack of access to job opportunities. The end! Hope you guys liked this video. It may have been... I've been recording for about an hour and a half-ish. I don't know how long this video is gonna be. Hopefully it's less than 30 minutes. God damn. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know if there's anything you guys want me to talk about. And of course, if you like this video, give it a like and comment and stuff. That boosts my stuff in the algorithm. I would really like that. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao. Bye.